From the headlines that move us
to the plays on the field and people making a difference.
It's news, sports, and stories that keep our community alive.
This is the Heartbeat of Tampa Bay.
I'm Christopher Ingram.
And I'm Misty Carson.
Misty, appreciate you being here again, filling in for the lovely Serena Fazan, who's out gallivanting in Europe.
Yes, I mean, good place to be.
It's a good place to be. You can't blame her, right?
Can't blame her.
Well, we have a fantastic guest here today. We have Gary Wishnatzki from Wish Farms. I've known Gary for, I think, at least 10 or 12 years. I remember interviewing you years ago for the paper or Bay News 9. And
for sure.
You're just a great guy. You're such an asset to the community and just a really good human being. And, of course, an iconic company here in the state of Florida, Wish Farms.
Appreciate that, Chris.
Welcome.
Thanks, Misty, for having me here today.
And I got to say, no one has ever brought us swag. No guest has brought us swag. You brought us a book. You brought us a hat. Misty and I both love our hats.
Yes.
And 4 pallets of, well, no, what do you call those?
Flats.
Flats.
Flats. 4 flats. See, you're a farm girl.
Yes.
Flats of strawberries. So we're going to be divvying those up among the staff here today. Appreciate you bringing them.
Well, I hope you guys enjoy them.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be using them all weekend long. Super awesome thing. I found out that on your logo that the Pixie's name is Misty.
That's right.
So I was super excited. I was like, not
immediate friends.
Immediate friends. Best friends. We're best friends now, Gary. Best friends.
But are you a pixie?
Well, yes, of course. I mean, who doesn't love a Tinkerbell? Yes, 100%.
So, Gary, your company has been in business for over 100 years. Tell us a little bit about the history and your involvement and where your company's going today.
Yeah, interesting times back when my grandfather came over from Ukraine, which is then became Russia, and now Ukraine again, maybe Russia again.
Right, maybe parts of it, right?
So he came over in 1904. He started out selling fruits and vegetables in New York City in Lower Manhattan with a push cart.
Wow.
Built up a fleet of push carts and started buying carloads of produce on the local auction market in New York City for the produce auction. And he'd buy more than his push carts could handle sometimes, so he started a wholesale business. In that wholesale business, he started bringing in other vegetables and fruits from around the country. He had a buyer in eastern Hillsborough County in Plant City buying strawberries on the local market, the local auction market during the winter time, and shipping them up to New York to him. So that he started the business Wishnatzki and Athel in 1922.
Wow.
And by 1929, he had the buyer in Plant City. He went down one winter and decided he liked the area, liked the weather, liked the growers and the people, and set up shop and left his partner in New York, and he started a shipping operation here in Plant City. So when he came, though, there was like literally thousands of small growers.
Wow.
The growers back then, they didn't have 50, 100, 500 acres like we do today. They had 1, 2, 3 acre fields. And what dictated the size of the farms back then was the size of the family. Because the more kids you had, the more pickers you had.
Yes,
So they, the big farm back then was like 5 acres. They had like 5 kids.
Yes.
The evolution, though, of the strawberry industry started way before my grandfather came. It dates all the way back to the 1880s. And that started because prior to the 1880s, there was things like cotton and other durable crops being grown. And it was a small community in Hillsborough County back in those years, obviously. It was in probably less than 10,000 people. So there was no reason to grow strawberries back then. But then in I think it was 1884, if I'm not mistaken, that Henry B. Plant's railroad came to town. And they renamed the town in eastern Hillsborough County, which used to be Ickapock-Sassa.
Wow.
They renamed it to Plant City in honor of Henry B. Plant.
That's cool.
And at that time, when the railroad came in, there was a means to transport berries back up to New York City and other eastern seaboard spots. So that's when the industry started to grow. And then by the time my grandfather came in the 1920s, the industry was already booming.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And now your company is huge. You're like one of the largest or the largest strawberry farmer in Florida. Tell us that.
Well, I'd say we're the largest shipper that's based in Florida. We have a lot of competitors in California that are larger than us. But for a Florida-based operation, we're probably the largest. We're shipping over 10 million flats of strawberries a year, either Florida, California.
Yeah, I was going to say, you ship to how many states?
We pretty much ship
everywhere.
all over
Right?
the U.S. We don't hit every state. Maybe some of the upper tier states in the Midwest we don't get to very often. But we ship a lot into Canada also. So we're pretty much North America. We're covering most of it.
And you mentioned too, you have the biggest contiguous farmland in the world.
Yes, largest contiguous strawberry farm in the world.
That is
I believe.
amazing.
Right, that's huge.
Yeah, that's
And
so
I've
incredible.
spoken at conferences of growers from all over the world, and nobody's challenged me.
I love it. So we're
So I
sticking
think
with
I think
it.
I'm right.
Yeah.
There's got to be an
that's
old
amazing.
saying about, if you say it enough times, and people believe it's true, right?
That's
Nobody's
amazing.
challenged me.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
that's cool. And how many employees do you guys have?
We have full-time employees, probably a couple hundred, based between Florida, California, a few in Mexico, a few in Chile and South America, and then we have seasonal workers that number in the thousands.
Fluctuates, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Talk about those workers a little bit. I remember talking to you about this years ago, and I asked you a question about, because immigration is a big contentious subject. Obviously, that labor is extremely important to the farming community. And you had a very interesting note about when I asked you, how often do you get domestic American workers come out to your farms, and how are they as employees picking in the fields?
I remember back in the Great Recession in 2008.
Yeah.
A lot of people were out of work,
Right.
if you remember, and we were short workers back in those years, and people would come out to the farm looking for work to pick strawberries, and most people that were not professional pickers, I use that term because it really is a skill.
Right.
Most of those folks, they wouldn't last a day, let alone hours.
Wow.
People would go, this is too hard.
Right.
And it is hard
It's a lot of
work.
bending
Yeah.
over, and you're out in the
Exactly.
sun, and it can get hot.
So today we can't field a local domestic workforce at all. So all of our workers are coming in from, mostly all from Mexico, and they're all on visas, work visas, and it's H-2A is the program that they come in under. So we bring them in, we pay them an adverse effect wage rate, which is more than what the Florida minimum wage is. This year we're paying a minimum of $16.23 an hour. And those workers on piece rate, most of them are making well in excess of $20 an hour. Our California workers, a lot of those people are making over $30 an hour. So, when people look at, the farm workers, these people are not being mistreated or underpaid.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, they're being treated very well and making a fair living.
Yeah.
And most of them, take a lot of money back with them when they go back home.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Which is even more money to them when they take it back to their
Oh,
home
yeah.
countries.
Oh, God,
yeah,
yeah.
so which is amazing. They support entire families off of a season.
That's
So
right.
I grew up in a farming community as well, and people might not understand, but most farms utilize the workforce in the same way that you're describing. So we're helping each other, not only by providing a product, but also helping people who wouldn't have the opportunity to provide for their families in the way that our farmers like you give them an opportunity to.
Oh, for sure. There's they're definitely, most of them are very thankful to be here and have a well-paying job, because it's amazing how much less people make in some of these
Yes.
countries. Right now, we do some processed berries. We do puree and other products like that, like 4+1 with sliced strawberries, and we're competing heavily against Egyptian strawberries, believe it or not.
Interesting.
There's no
Egyptian
country of
strawberries
origin labeling when it comes to, so when you're getting a smoothie, you may be getting
Right.
strawberries from Egypt.
Wow.
I did not know
I
that.
had no idea.
And I was recently talking to an Egyptian strawberry grower, and he grows just for the process market.
Wow.
I go, how can you grow just for the process market? Because we do the processing as like a backstop and as it's just something
Kind
at
of
the end of the
secondary.
season. You've already got the crop
Use
paid
your
for,
supply.
but because we depend on the fresh market, because the market prices are so much higher. I said, how can you just do it for a frozen market? And you go, well, how much they're paying people there? They're $3 a day.
$3
A day?
A day.
Wow.
Oh, no. Yeah.
You can't.
That's
compete
what
with
we're
that.
competing
Yeah,
against,
you can't.
and we're losing business. Our business has been gutted, our process business, because of the Egyptian strawberries coming in. But that's another story.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I want to get back to immigration. So everybody has an opinion on immigration, and we hear a lot of talk about we need to deport all these people who are here illegally. There's a lot of misinformation, disinformation, and a lot of people believing what they want to believe, not what's actually true. What are your general thoughts on immigration, not just as a farmer, but as a person that has a heart and wants to take care of people?
Well, we have to have secure borders. That's first and foremost. I mean, I 100% don't believe that we should have open borders and people just flowing in to pick crops. And back in the old days, though, they used to come in, and because the border was so open, they used to go back.
Yeah.
Now they come in,
They
but
come
they
back
don't go
again.
back.
They go back.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, we depend on this H-2A program. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't get the crops picked at all. So, but I truly believe we need secure borders, but we need a better program other than the H-2A program because I think you could bring people in on work visas, make them where they're transportable work visas, and then have a system where there's a withholding being withheld from their wages, and they get that withholding back when they go back across the border.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I've talked to Congress people about this, and I go, there's a very simple solution. And they go, oh, really? Tell me about it. And I tell them about it, and they don't, nothing happens.
Yeah. Oh, that is a great idea, though.
It's a simple solution.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so interesting. You were talking about you have created a mechanical picker, a machine picker. I'm not the person that created it. Yes.
I'm the inspiration
You're
for some of the money.
inspiration. It was your brainchild, and somebody brought it to fruition. So talk
Yes.
to us about that. I'm super excited to hear about this.
Yeah, co-founder was a fellow named Bob Pitzer that came up with some really creative, great ideas of how to do an automated picker. And we're trying to get that picker to market right now. We've got a machine that's working, picking strawberries, and would create a lot better, higher paying jobs at the farms. The way people pick strawberries now, it's hard work like we spoke about before. This would make people's lives a lot better, I believe. We're working on getting the funding right now to get this thing scaled, because we have a picker that's actually working and picking strawberries.
That's amazing. It just picks strawberries or other types
I
of
was
fruits?
just going to ask that. Yeah.
It's specific to strawberries, but there's over a dozen patents on the techniques, that way we're doing it. And some of those patents would be transferable to other crops in the future. But right now, this machine is just
strawberries.
specific to strawberries.
And you said you think it'll make people's lives better, but it would seem to me if you're automating, it's going to displace jobs. Explain what did you mean by that it will make people's lives better?
Sure, because right now there's people that want to work at the farm that they don't not necessarily want to pick strawberries, but the people that are picking the strawberries, doing that hard work, those are all immigrants that we're bringing in on these guest worker visas. So there's not any domestic peoples doing that work.
Right.
So the jobs that what would happen is we would have technicians and people that are currently families that work at the farm now. Those people, those kids that maybe wouldn't want to go into ag labor, ag work in the future, now there could be like technicians and engineers and other jobs that are going to come from them. Yes, it'll be less people, but there's less people showing up all the time anyway.
Yeah.
So the people that are left, the jobs that are going to be for them will be better, will be more efficient, and we'll be able to
kind of higher end job
do
too.
more with less.
So you're thinking about like robotics engineering and that's
You want
exciting.
to go out and pick strawberries and we could have a contest.
No, although there was a blueberry farm from where I was growing up that you could go pick your own blueberries. So do you have that? Can you go pick your own strawberries at your farm?
Yes, we just had a charity U-Pick that benefiting RCMA, Redland Christian Migrant Association. They provide Project Head Start and other early childhood education for migrant kids throughout Florida.
That's amazing.
So we're very close with that organization. They're also one of the beneficiaries of an upcoming charity event we have in on November 7th called Pixie Rock.
Ah.
We have a national acts coming in that we haven't announced who they are this year yet. But
You want to announce it on here on Heartbeat of Tampa Bay? You're more than
Do
welcome
you need
to.
a real life Misty the Pixie?
Yeah.
I'm just asking. Yeah. That.
So the last one that our headliner was ZZ Top.
Oh, I
cool.
love that.
And we had some alt rock
Yeah.
bands like Bishop Briggs and Saint Motel and
Yeah.
some others. But yeah, this one's going to be really special
That's cool.
too.
I
So
think
we're
you
looking
should hire
forward
Misty to be the Pixie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Misty, the real life Pixie.
to- The real
I could
Misty.
sign all the
yeah,
things
we'll give
for
you a
everybody.
little wand.
Yeah, she's on here.
I-
But yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
You could be her.
She's a blonde just like me. I know. What could we do? That would be amazing. I do love some ZZ Top.
You mentioned that charity, you help out, you do so much in the community, you're involved heavily in the Strawberry Festival, which just ended up
Mm-hmm.
last week. How'd it go this year? Always
was
making
good.
improvements, I know, and have good bands and new foods and stuff like that.
Yeah, they
Well,
normally draw over 500,000 people. I didn't see what the number was this year. But
It was insane when I was there.
Yeah, their
So
weekends
many
get
people.
really crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, we sponsored the sound stage, and yeah, unfortunately the strawberry season's kind of on the way winding down, but we found some good strawberries.
Yeah,
here
they
for you.
look
Those look
They
really
look
good. They're
amazing.
so red.
They
Hold
look-
one of those up for the camera.
They look
Misty.
picture perfect.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
that is totally. Did you
Picture
hand select
perfect.
those?
Yeah, I picked them myself.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing. Yeah, super exciting. So what's next? When you think about, you're already creating the pickers, thinking about what the future looks like for you, having to keep up with how everything's changing. So what's next for Wish Farms? What is the next iteration?
Yeah, so we've got our pine berries. That's one thing. It's been around for a couple of years now. We were probably the first grower shipper that really went in with both feet and popularized
Those are the
it.
pink ones,
Yes,
right?
the pink
Yeah.
ones. We call them pinkaboos.
Yeah, that's a great
So,
name.
Yeah, so we're towards the end of that season now, and we really are just growing them here in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
We don't grow those in California. But what we do in California too, we do raspberries and blackberries.
Oh.
And we've got a proprietary breeding program that we are working on, and we've got some really exciting new varieties coming. I think it's going to really transform our business, even take us to a whole nother level.
Wow.
Because we've been doing raspberries and blackberries, but on a relatively small scale,
Yeah.
because the varieties that are publicly available to us are not as productive as some of our competition.
Yeah.
But these new varieties we're developing are not only taste good and ship well, but they also are productive where we can.
Can you figure out a
we
way
can
to get the
scale.
seeds out of them? Because I don't like blackberries or
Well, there is
raspberries
a-
because of the little seeds.
But there is a genetic company
Is
working
there?
on a seedless blackberry.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Blackberries are my daughter's favorite fruit, and raspberries are my favorite fruit. So I'm
Okay.
super excited to see. Every time somebody asks me, I'm like a raspberry. They're like, "Who says raspberries is
Right.
their favorite?" But it is. It's my
You're
favorite
special.
fruit. Yeah, that's true.
So we're heavily invested in the genetic side, trying to come up with these new varieties. The University of Florida breeding program, they've done an excellent job. This is a University of Florida variety called Encore. Dr. Vance Whitaker there is the head breeder, and he's been doing a great job in coming up with these new varieties. And it's all, these crosses are done just with traditional hybridization. I mean, there's not
GMO
GMOs
stuff,
or
yeah.
anything, so
Yeah.
Right.
people shouldn't get the wrong
Right.
idea when you're talking about breeding and coming up with new varieties.
Yeah.
So, but we're heavily invested in that. We work with UF on a collaborative basis, but we also have our own proprietary breeding program in California. We're actually invested in two private programs
Oh.
on strawberries plus our raspberry, blackberry breeding. And then we're also doing some work with the University of Florida on blueberries. So, yeah, that was.
Is that a big crop for you here in Florida?
It is. This year, though, the freeze impacted us pretty dramatically here in Central Florida. We have a grower south of here that fared a little better, and the growers north of here, they weren't right in that same stage of the crop with the bloom that they were here. So there was about 60 to 70% loss here in Central Florida on the blueberry crop this year. But we are getting good supplies out of the south, and North Florida and Georgia should be starting for too long. So, and then we're still getting a little bit out of South America just to fill the void.
What does the future look like for agriculture? Like, are a lot of people still pursuing degrees in agriculture, or are they more doing research and development, and or like you're talking about, where we're talking about robotics and mechanics and mechanical engineering? What does that look like?
Yeah, well, we get ag groups and tours all the time, And I think a lot of these young people, when they see our organization and our headquarters, I think they kind of get excited about ag. Yeah, we've got a great retention and recruitment tool with our new headquarters we built in Plant City.
It's beautiful. I saw some pictures of it online.
Oh, thank you.
Looks
Yeah,
amazing.
it's really, it's very unique, very
Don't you have
special.
a slide?
Yeah, we have a slide from the second
Aw.
floor.
Slide in
That's
the lobby.
amazing. I
We have a
love that.
tree house. That's one of our meeting rooms.
That's
Oh,
cool.
that's amazing.
And we've got a chef that makes lunch and breakfast for us every day. We have a workout facility there.
Wow.
And just a lot of really cool features.
Who's the inspiration for things like the slide in the treehouse? Is that you? Is that your wife or
No,
your
all the-
staff?
All the crazy ideas came from me.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's the
And
best.
when we did this, when we started the project, I said, I'm going to take this. I don't want anybody messing this up because this is going to be part of my legacy.
That's
That's
awesome,
amazing.
Gary.
So I really ramrodded the whole project, and I had all the crazy ideas.
That's cool.
My son Nick, he did a
He
lot
helped
with me,
out.
and my daughter Elizabeth, she helped too with decorating ideas for some of the rooms.
Yeah.
She came up with some really cool ideas too.
cool.
So
That's great.
when you guys get a chance, you have to come out and
I would love
visit,
to come back and
have
see it
lunch.
sometime.
I would love that. So they're the next generation. Your children are.
Yes, I got my son is our PR director, and my son-in-law James is soon to be CEO.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn over the reins to
Wow.
him here
Wow.
soon. I'm still going to be the head pixie though.
Yeah, I love that.
I was going to ask you, how hard is that going to be for? Because you've been doing this a long time, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this has been your whole career. You're going to have a hard time handing over the reins?
I am, but I got enough family. I've got another son-in-law, Stephen Kramers, and he's in my accounting department. So, yeah, we've got family
feel
there
good.
now. My
Yeah.
daughter, I think Elizabeth will come back at some point. So
That's great.
I'm excited about the future. I'm the third generation, and I think it's, from what I understand, it's kind of special that I didn't screw it
Right,
up.
I've heard that.
Yes,
Yeah, the third
yes.
generation is usually the one that screws it up.
Yeah, that's
so
interesting.
kudos to you.
Yeah.
Thank
kudos
you.
to
So
you.
the fourth generation, I have to tell you, is so much better than me in terms of the business and their dedication and their work ethic and
Well,
their way they think and
I'm sure
strategic.
they learned that from you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
no,
sure.
no, they've got some of it from me, but a lot of it is just their
Yeah.
DNA.
That's
Well, that's
amazing.
right.
My son-in-law and son, they're doing great jobs.
I love that. You're really lucky that you have family that wants to carry it on, because it's going to die. People's legacies like that die in the vine when the next generation just has no interest whatsoever in what was
Right.
built. So very big blessing for you and your
Absolutely.
family. That
Thank
they're-
you. Well, I've been told a long time ago, you can't be sentimental about business, but sometimes it's hard
Of
not
course
to be.
it's not. You told us a story about your grandfather. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like that, you can't not have that for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Gary Wishnatzki, you're such a
Thank you.
asset to the community,
Yes.
and we thank you for joining us here today to share a little bit of your story. And thanks again for the strawberries.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't wait to eat them.
Every story shared,
Adds another heartbeat to Tampa Bay.
from courage to community.
We're proud to tell the stories that keep our neighborhood strong.
Thanks for watching the Heartbeat of Tampa Bay. I love my hat.
It's so great. I'm going to wear it on the boat on Sunday.